Okay, so you've already been given two different scenarios. You've had 1 over x, you've had 1 over x squared. So your base or your basic equations, you should already have memorized. So this is kind of review. I have given you a y equals 1 over x. All right, and that one, if we did just a little miniature sketch here of it, not shifted around the coordinate plane at all. It has two little swishies in opposite corners. Okay, so here and here, that makes the horizontal asymptote the x-axis. It makes the vertical asymptote the y-axis. Okay, so we should already have that one memorized from earlier. We've also looked at y equals 1 over x squared. When the x is squared, the two little squishies are both on the top. So again, this basic graph, no shifting away from the origin, looks like that. And again, horizontal asymptotes. All right, let's go ahead and put those on. You would have a horizontal asymptote here. You would have a vertical asymptote here. Okay, same thing here. I would have a horizontal asymptote here. I would have a vertical asymptote right there. Okay, now what's going to happen when we start shifting these around the coordinate plane? We're going to basically take these horizontal and vertical asymptotes, and we're going to shift those to the right and up. We're going to shift them wherever around, and then your graph will always hug wherever those asymptotes are. Okay, now let's use the h and k that we're used to seeing and make some general equations here. Let's suppose we had a y equals 1 over x minus h. So there's the h that we're used to seeing plus a k. All right, that hk in the past, that was our vertex when we had a parabola. It was our vertex when we had an absolute value. It was the turning point on the x to the third. All right, so this h and k is going to help us with our horizontal vertical asymptotes. This graph is a 1 over x because I don't see any squared down here whatsoever. The other one we're going to deal with is y equals 1 over x minus h quantity squared plus k. So there's the difference. If it's got the squared, they're both going to be up. If it doesn't have a squared, they're going to be in opposite corners. All right, we're not going to worry about how a negative affects the graph just yet. Okay, now, like I said, all of our shifting rules remain the same. Okay, so the h previously told us how to move opposite left to right. So we shifted away from the origin opposite left to right. The k told us same up or down. How we shifted, but moving up or down. All right, same thing's going to happen over here. Every time we have an h, it tells us how we shift opposite left or right. K is on the outside of the function, so it tells us same up or down. So there's no need to memorize new rules because they're all the same. Okay. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's do one of these now. Directions, of course, are going to say sketch because we're not trying to graph or anything. We're just sketching. So y equals 1 over x plus 3 minus 2. Okay, so you're looking at the inside number. This is your h number. This is your k number. So those right there tell us how we're going to shift. All right, so start with the set of axes. All right, that plus 3 tells us how we're going to move left or right, opposite. So left 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now the difference here, what I'm actually shifting is my horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Okay, so when I go left 3, I'm going to put in a vertical asymptote.
Juniors, you may report to the main gym for a homecoming picture.
Then minus 2 is on the outside, so shift the same up or down. So minus 2 means I'm going to go down 2. And then when I move down 2, I'm going to put in a horizontal asymptote. So what I just shifted was basically the axis. And if you can see it, here's my original x and y axis, makes an x, makes cross. All right, it's been shifted to the left and down. So here, where those dotted lines are my new axis. Okay, then I look at it, do I have an x or an x squared? I got a plain x, so it means they're opposite locations, so they've got to hug the asymptotes. So hug the asymptote here and here, hug the asymptote here and here. And I know they're in opposite spots because it's a plain x instead of a 1 over x squared. Now, do I have to have both those numbers? I don't, right? If I didn't have the 2, I would just shift to the left. If I didn't have the +3, I would just shift up or down. So I don't have to make 2 shifts. I can do just 1 shift. Okay, so let's do a 1 shift. And then let's do like with a squared. So 1 over x minus 4 squared. Okay, so obviously we got a squared in there, so that means that my little swishies are going to be in a different spot. The -4 there is my h, it's on the inside, and I don't have a k. All right, it would be +0 out here. That's my k. I don't have a k, so I am not going to be shifting up or down at all. I am only going to be shifting left to right. Okay, so inside we do opposite. That says -4, so the opposite would be +4. When I go to the right 4, I put in the vertical asymptote. All right, now the asymptote that didn't change is the one that's right there on the x-axis. That one doesn't change, okay, because I did not shift up or down, okay? This is an x squared, so both of them are on top. So I'm going to hug here and here. I'm going to hug here and here. And both of them go on top. Okay, relatively kind of simple. I mean, since we have sketched so many of them previously and the pattern stays the same, once you have the hang of how they shift, they all shift the same way. You just have to memorize what shape it is. Okay, let me do like 2 more and let you do them on your own, sketch them on your own. All right, so let's suppose we've got like a y equals 1 over x plus 2 plus 4. And then a y equals 1 over x minus 3. All right, so sketch both of those real quick. I'll pause while you do that. Okay, hopefully that was the time you got them done. I didn't graph them in the same color, but that's okay. This one shifted to the left with a vertical asymptote 4 up. It was a squared, so they were both on top. This one did not shift left or right, but did shift down 3. All right, I went ahead and put the dotted line in on this one so you could see it. All right, however, you don't need to do that. I mean, I'm just doing that now so you see that one of the axes is an asymptote. All right, it's 1 over x, so they're in opposite spots. All right, so last concepts for our chapter 2, we've got to be able to do, okay? Make sure that you've got horizontal, vertical, and slant asymptotes all memorized, okay? Because that's the only way, the rules, the only way you're going to get those. All right, and then sketching the rational functions. Okay. All right, if you don't have any questions, then I'll give you the rest of the time to work.